What's up, my loves? It's your girl Erica V, and you are tuned into Freedom Podcast. Listen, today is May 15th, 2023, and this is our third episode. And do you want to know what the word is? Do you want to know what the word is? The word tonight is dear younger self. Let me say it again. The word for tonight is dear younger self. Woo! Tonight is going to be a good night, and I'm so excited about this being our third episode. Listen, we're doing so good, you guys. So keep adding me, keep following me. Because listen, I am so excited about what God is doing for Freedom Podcast. Listen, so tonight the episode is about dear younger self. And the reason why I wanted to discuss this topic was because oftentimes we go through so many things as adults that are caused by the things that we went through as our younger self. So that could have been, abuse or something like that, or, just not getting the love you should get from your parents, not getting the attention that you needed from your parents, just different things that you went through as a child. And that's why I say tonight it's about dear younger self. Is there something that you feel like if you had the opportunity today to speak to your younger self, what would you tell your younger self? Well, let me just tell you about me. First and foremost, growing up, I've always struggled with my weight. My weight has always been a touchy subject. Growing up, I would say that I was a very talented young lady. I wrote poetry on a computer all the time. So I'm a couple books short. So I have to get back into that. But I used to write poetry all the time. Poetry was my outlet. I used to write so much on this old computer that I had, old poems that my mom bought me. And when I tell you that was something that I did, I was always the outsider, even growing up with my cousins. A lot of my cousins would skip school. A lot of my cousins would do different things. And I was the one that would sing. I was the one that would write poetry. I was the one that I would say God had his hand on me ever since a young age. But I used to struggle with trying to fit in. I used to try to fit in with different people, different friend groups, and I would always feel alone, or just like I was different. And I guess that was because God had his hands on me ever since a very young age. And I remember my mom was telling me one time, she said, I remember when I was pregnant with you, and someone prophesied to me and told me that the girl that you are pregnant with, the child that you are pregnant with, she's going to be a blessed child. She's going to be a child that's full of gifts. She's going to be a child that God is going to use. So I would say I dealt with a lot of different things growing up as a child, but there was some times where I tried to fit in with the wrong crowd. There were some times I would try to hang with different people. I would try to skip school with my cousins. I would try to, smoke weed. I would try to, just wear different things. Even though I knew deep down it wasn't for me or it wasn't me, I would try to fit in with people. And I always struggle with my weight. My weight is something that I've always dealt with. It was always up and down, just how I dressed and different things like that. And so one of the things that I would tell my younger self if I had the opportunity, and I feel like if I wouldn't have made some of the decisions that I made, or tried to fit in with the different crowds, or tried to hang with the different people that I felt like were cool, or that I felt like, I should try to be like, things will probably be a little different. Even though I'm so thankful for where God has me in my life, I'm so thankful for the things that God has taken me through that has allowed me to become the younger woman that I am today. But a lot of times we don't realize that a lot of things that we go through is basically based off of some of the childhood things that we've went through. We don't realize that the things that we deal with at a young age affects us in our adulthood. So we don't deal with those things. So one of the things that I would tell my younger self would probably be to love yourself no matter what. Because it doesn't matter if you're extremely small. It doesn't matter if you're a plus size woman. You are still a beautiful woman. It doesn't matter how other people feel about the way that you dress or how other people feel about your weight that should affect you in a way that'll make you be depressed. I had some very depressing moments growing up as a child. Trying to fit in with different cliques and stuff like that. So I would definitely tell my younger self to love on yourself, to know that you are a young woman, to know that you are young and you are able to make mistakes. And there's nothing wrong with making mistakes, because growing up, I did not make a whole lot of mistakes. And I guess that was because I was afraid of making mistakes sometimes. But one thing that I will say is it is okay for you to make mistakes. It is okay for you to mess up. It is okay for you to want to be your authentic self. It is okay for you to express yourself in ways that others feel are weird, or the way that others feel, is boring or not cool. I was not the cool person growing up. I definitely wasn't, but I was a very unique child. So one thing that I will say is to my younger self is be happy in who you are. Be happy in who God made you to be. Be happy with, you being different. Because nowadays in society, when I say being different, I mean, you may have a different talent than another person. You may not want to sag your pants. You may not want to wear short clothes. You may not want to show a lot of skin. But in this society now, they make you feel like if you're not letting sex sell, or if you're not wearing certain things, that it's wrong. Or if you're not wearing certain things, then you can't make it in the music industry, or you can't make it into modeling or different things like that. But I feel like when God has called you to do something, when God has a calling on your life, then that gift will make room for the world. You don't have to compromise who you are to fit in. You don't have to compromise who you are to make it. But that is what society has taught us. That is what society makes it seem like, But I will say that to my younger self, to love who you are, in and out, flaws and all, whether you are plus size or whether you are small. Love who you are. Because I feel like that plays a major part in how we grow up. That plays a major part in how we see ourselves when we grow up. And that is why I feel like a year or two ago, I was trying to lose weight so bad. And let me just say this. Sometimes people say, oh, and I don't know if they mean any harm, but I have to correct people all the time, because people say, oh, when you lost all that weight, girl, you looked so good. Or girl, when you lost that weight, girl, you so pretty to be a plus size girl. And all these things play a major part in society, and how people feel like you have to be a certain size to look beautiful, or how people feel like you have to change who you are to fit in. So I would definitely tell my younger self, girl, love yourself. Okay, love who you are, because it's who you are that's going to make you different. It's who you are that's going to make you shine even bright. It's who you are that's going to allow people to see you in a room full of people and you stand out. It's who you are. So I wanted to spend tonight just simply saying, if you had the opportunity to tell your younger self something, what would it be? Like me, I would say that you don't have to have sex before marriage. That you do not have to have sex before marriage. Because if I would have known what I know now, I definitely would have saved myself for marriage. But being that I was hanging around certain people, trying to fit in, trying to be cool, I ended up having sex earlier than I would have wanted to. And I'm going to say I was about 16 or 17, but to me that was still young, because I, wanted to, have sex later on. But let me just say, I have went through some things, and at a young age, and my mom didn't even know a lot of this stuff. At a young age, I had seen a lot of things, not saying that things had affected me personally, but I've hung around people who have went through a lot of things at a young age. So I would say to my younger self, be happy with who you are. You do not have to change who you are. You don't have to dress different to fit in. You don't have to look different to fit in. You don't have to speak different to fit in. Like, just be who you are. Be your authentic self. Be that writer that you wanted to be. Be that singer that you wanted to be. Like, whatever it is that God placed on your heart to do, do it. If God placed it in your heart to sing, sing without worrying about how other people feel about it. Because one thing I realize, you guys, and I don't know if it's me, but if people would water their children when they have certain ideas, when they want to do certain things, and not judge them for wanting to do something that they may not be used to, or that they may not be accustomed to, then so many children will be so successful even at a young age. But so often children tell their parents, and I'm just saying in society today, a lot of your children will tell you, Mom, I want to do this, or Mom, I want to do that. And a lot of times you don't water them, but it's like you step on them. Like you killed the seed before the seed has even grown. Let me say that again. A lot of times, parents, it could be cousins. You may have a younger cousin that tell you, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that. And a lot of times we bash them, there ain't no money in that field. You ain't gonna make no money doing that. You ain't gonna make a lot doing that. But parents, if you water your children, their dreams, their goals, their wants, their needs, and you pour into them, and you tell them, baby, you can do that. Baby, you can pursue that dream. Baby, you can go there. Baby, you can do anything that you want to do out of life, and you water them. So just visualize this. You lay a seed down in the ground, and you say, man, I really want this to bloom. I really want this to grow. So you make a perfect space for it. You water it, you nurture it, you check after it. You just do all these different things. And then you see it grow, and you keep watering it, and you keep loving on it, and you keep nurturing it, and it grows, and you keep watering it, and so on and so on and so on. But when you show your children that you can do anything that you put your mind to and your heart to, that you can do anything if you keep God first and you water them at a young age, things won't be able to stop them. People won't be able to talk down on their dreams and goals. And in a lot of Black households, that goes on a lot. I see it each and every day. Kids tell their mom, I want to do something. And because we're so brainwashed by society, because we're so brainwashed about, your children has to be a doctor or a lawyer to be successful. Your children have to do this or that in order to be successful. That we don't realize that God has placed a seed inside of that child. And being that you are not watering it, you're not nurturing it, it's not able to grow. The very thing that you are wanting God to do, the very thing that you feel like you will be successful at, sometimes won't even be successful because that's not what God has given you. That's not what God has placed inside of you. I feel like God has placed a certain seed inside of each and every last one of us. And he gives us that seed, I feel like, even growing up at a young age. And sometimes it takes us longer to realize what God has, placed inside of us. But I feel like a lot of times God has placed those gifts and talents inside of children at a young age. And a lot of children aren't getting watered. They're not getting, just poured into for them to know that God has placed this gift inside of you. But being that some people haven't seen the vision, they don't see the gift that God has placed inside of you, sometimes people will literally kill that very thing inside of you before it even grows. Parents, that's why it's so important for you to pour into your children, for you to pour into your children's dreams and goals. Even when they tell you, Mom, I want to be an astronaut, and they tell you this at 3 years old, pour into that vision, pour into that dream, pour into that goal. Because when you do that, it pushes them. It motivates them. It's like you're laying the foundation for your children to be great. A lot of children, a lot of young adults right now, still to this day don't know what they want to do. Still to this day don't know what their next move is. And it's because at a young age, they had an idea and someone shut that idea away. Someone told them, no, that's not the idea that they want them to do. No, that's not enough money in that field. But when you pour into your children at a young age, it allows them to be able to make better sound decisions when they grow up. It allows them to be able to trust their decision making. It allows them to be able to know that I can dream this dream and it can come true if I keep God first, if I keep watering it, if I keep making the next step. Then God would do everything that he said he is going to do. All I have to do is keep him first. All I have to do is do my part, and God would do it. Parents, you have to pour into your children. Because right now, right now I'm going through this very thing. A lot of things I should have been a millionaire in those fields already. I should have had at least 4 or 5 books. I was a writer at a very young age. Like right now, somebody can give me a word and I can have something written today, literally in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, I used to write poetry at a very young age. I used to write at a very, very young age. So there are children right now that God is placing seeds in. They are young children, just like me. I was a young child at 4 or 5, and I was writing, you guys. God had been pouring into me since a very young age. That is what I'm telling you guys. You have to speak into your children. So that is why I say, if you had the opportunity to tell your younger self something, what would it be? Because me, girl, you can be that writer. Girl, you can be that singer. Girl, you can do anything you put your mind to. If you keep God first, the Bible says that God will do exceedingly abundantly above all that you can ask or think. So you can be everything you say you want to be according to God's will if you keep him first. So parents, pour into your children. Even though you may not know the outcome, even though it may seem like you don't know what's next, pour into your children, because sometimes God will give your vision to only your child. God will give his vision to only your child. So you're wondering, like, I don't really know what he want to do. I mean, I don't know what this child want to do. I mean, because God ain't gave it to you. You cannot expect people to see a vision that God only gave you to see. That's also included in your children. You cannot expect to understand what God has placed on your child, because God only gave your child that vision. And he may not have even revealed it to you yet. You may not understand that your child is a writer. You may not understand that your child is a singer. You may not understand that your child is a prophetess. You may not understand that your child is a prophet. You may not understand this because God did not give you the vision to see it. Right now, you're trying to piece it together. So I'm telling you, even in the times that you don't understand, even in the times that you can't see clear and you don't really know what's going on with your child, understand that God is placing seeds inside of these children. But it's up to you to water it. It's up to you to plant it. It's up to you to nurture it. It's up to you to keep pouring life into it. Keep pouring. Oh, baby, you can do that. Oh, baby, you are smart. Oh, baby, you are so amazing. You are loving. You are kind. You are sweet. Because if I knew what I knew now, dear younger self, girl, you are beautiful. Dear younger self, you are confident. Dear younger self, you are amazing. Dear younger self, you can make great decisions. Dear younger self, you can trust your decisions. Dear younger self, You are beautiful, big or small, dear younger self. You are beautiful, makeup or no makeup at all, dear younger self. Listen, what would you tell yourself if you had the opportunity? Because listen, it's some things that we're going to have to go back to our younger self and say, dear younger self, listen, I know you feel abandonment, but those abandonment issues aren't going to go with you the rest of your life. Dear younger self, if nobody else loves you, God loves you. Dear younger self, and you have to say these things over and over and over so you can get free from all those issues, from all those things that you felt growing up. Oh, my parent wasn't in my life like I wanted to. Dear younger self, you have to heal. You have to heal. I refuse to let childhood trauma affect me as an adult. I refuse to let childhood trauma affect me in my decision making. I refuse to let childhood trauma affect me in knowing when God has called me to do something. I refuse to let childhood trauma cause me to not trust men. I refuse to let childhood trauma affect me in my family, my kids, in the future, my future husband, my future spouse. I refuse. So with that being said, sometimes even as an adult, you have to continue to water yourself. You have to continue to pour into yourself. Because sometimes, even though we have gotten poured into at a young age, sometimes life itself will cause you to poke holes in yourself and have everything that you've poured into yourself. It'll have everything leaking out. So just imagine you're filling up a balloon, and the balloon represents, how you feel about yourself, and you're on full. Your parents have poured into you. They've told you how beautiful you are. They've told you how successful you are. They've told you everything that you are going to be. They've put faith in you. They've just poured into you. Baby, you can do it. Baby, you got this. Oh, baby, you can push yourself beyond your greatest expectations. They've told you all of these different things. And then you go through life. You get around the wrong people, so they poke a hole inside of your water balloon. So now it's water seeping out. Then you may date a guy, and he may tell you, man, you ugly, man, you did it, you this, you that. Man, you're not beautiful at all. Okay, that's another hole. That's coming out that way. Then you may hang around friends, and you may give them an idea that you want to do. Hey, I want to write a book. Girl, write a book. What? Write a book? Girl, what? You ain't no Arthur. That's another hole. And that's another hole that's coming out, water seeping out. Then you may, go through just abuse and all this different stuff and anger, frustration, holes. Now, everything your parents have poured into you growing up, everything that your parents have poured into you, watching the TV has you second guessing how you look. Watching TikTok has you second guessing how you look. On Facebook has you second guessing how you look. Just different things have you second guessing how you look because you're looking at different people and how they look on social media. So you feel like, should I go get my body done? Should I go do all this? And I'm not pretty. My stomach is not flat enough. My hips are not wide enough. My butt is not big enough. All these different things. And now everything your parents have poured into you is seeping out. It's leaking out. So I'm here to tell you, dear younger self, you got this. You got this. Don't let society, I'm going to tell you something. I'm in a place in my life right now, I'm finna to be 32. I'm in a place in my life where I don't care how nobody feel about how I look. I don't care about how nobody feel about my hair. I don't care about how nobody feel about how I dress. I don't care about how nobody feel about my weight. Oh, girl, you didn't gain weight back. Oh, girl, you didn't lose weight. I don't care. You know why? Because I understand that what's for me is for me. You may not like a plus size woman, but I'm not for you. You know why? Because God has already ordained my husband. My husband's going to be my husband, okay? Regardless, okay? What God has for me is mine regardless, whether you like me or not, whether you can stand me or not, whether you like my weight or not, whether you like my hair or not, whether you like, how I dress or not. What's for me is for me, okay? So you not liking me ain't gonna stop my blessings. You not liking the way my hair look ain't gonna stop my blessings. You not liking my makeup and it's not blended perfectly for you. It's not my business. You know why? Because I know who God has created me to be. I know that when I step into a room, I turn heads. I know that when I step in a room, my presence is felt. I know that when I enter one's life, I know that my presence is felt. When I'm not around them, I know my presence is longed for. So with that being said, love you for you, okay? Dear younger self, I want you guys to make a list for me. And you can just inbox it to me, do a screenshot of it. And I want you to say, dear younger self. And I want you to write a list of everything you would tell your younger self. I would tell my younger self, dear younger self, forgive them for how they hurt you. And this is good because it frees you from everything you've dealt with as a child. It's good because it frees you from everything that you haven't forgiven somebody for as a child. Everything that you may have held as a child and you're still holding it as an adult. So that little thing as a child has now turned to this big thing. So that's why we have to get healed from childhood trauma. That's why we have to get healed from things we've been through as a child. That's why we have to talk about the things we've dealt with so we can be free from it. So we don't have to hold it. So we don't have to hide it. So we don't have to, keep on reliving it, keep bringing it in cycles. Baby, what I tell y'all last podcast, moving forward from childhood trauma, moving forward for things that I've dealt with as a younger child. Bye-bye. Deliver from you. Moving forward. So with that being said, dear younger self, I refuse to let you hold me in bondage. Dear younger self, I refuse to keep replaying the things that I went through as a child in my adult life. Dear younger self, I am moving forward from hurt as a child, disappointment, anger, bitterness, frustration. Dear younger self, I forgive them. I forgive them. Listen, I love you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing night tonight. But I want you guys to know that you are amazing just the way you are. You don't have to compromise who you are. You don't have to try to be like nobody else. You don't have to try to lose weight to look like nobody else. You don't have to go get surgery to look like nobody else. You don't have to date a certain type of man to love yourself. Listen, be who you are. There's too many copies out here. God only wants you to be your original self. The person that he made you to be, the person that he called you to be. And guess what? If they don't like it, they don't like it. People ain't gonna, you can have $1 million today and they gonna talk about you. You can have $1 today and they gonna talk about you. So at the end of the day, be yourself. I'm me on my worst days, on my broke days, on my good days, and on my wonderful days. Hello, I'm still Erica. So moving forward, so long, bye-bye. What this song say? So long, bye-bye. I refuse to be letting childhood trauma cause me to be in cycles, to be in bondage. That's what God died for me to be free. And I am free. Say it with me. I am free. I am free. Don't that feel good? Don't that feel good? Listen, you guys, thank you for watching me tonight. Thank you for watching me tonight. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the love. And let me just say, tune in every Monday at 7 p.m. Central Time to Freedom Podcast. And do you want to know what the word is? Do you want to know what the word is? The word is, dear younger self, I am free. You guys have a good night. Be blessed. And I love you with the love of Christ. God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for all that you are doing in our life. We love you. I speak peace and blessings over every person on the sound of my voice. In Jesus' name, amen and amen. Good night. Don't tell me. Oh, okay. Let me go get me some. It's hot.